Hey guys, for your assignment today you are going to create a jack-o'-lantern or a 3D pumpkin. As you can see, it's got a bunch of circles in itself, and this will show me that you are able to make the circles and utilize them in different ways. Now I have included the handwritten directions here attached to the assignment, so if you are a person who likes to follow the pictures and words, you can do it that way. Otherwise, I'm going to go through them right now. If you are a person who likes to copy and follow. So again, we're going to start with our circle, but we're going to start with it in the middle here this time. I'm going to click once to place it. I'm going to pull it out, click again, and then again I'm going to hit the left arrow on my keypad to change colors. I click once to place it, pull it all the way out to the edge, or I can even go a little bit further. And then click again. Now with my select tool, I'm going to select the inside circle, then I'm going to go to my follow me, I'm going to choose the other one, and I've got my sphere. Okay? So now with this one, to make the pumpkin, we are going to make a bunch of copies of the spheres, and then push them all in together to make the pumpkin look. So I'm going to hit my select tool, I'm going to double click or triple click till it turns all the way blue, and I'm going to right click, and what I want to do is I want to make it a component, and I'm going to choose that. You just leave everything as is and hit OK. And what that allows me to do is, as I'm making more circles, it'll copy whatever I did with this first circle. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the Q letter on my keyboard. Okay. And that allows me to bring up the rotation device. And I'm going to choose the red axis here, and I'm going to click once. And then I'm going to tell which direction I want it to go, so I want it to go this way. And then I'm going to click again. Now, hitting the control button, and on a Mac it's a little bit different, so I would check the written directions for the Mac. But I'm going to hit the control button, and that's going to bring a circle out of the other one. It's kind of neat to see the first time. Okay, and as I bring it out, you'll see in the bottom right corner there, my angle number is changing. What I can do is I can type the number that I want it to go into. So I'm just going to type in, and I'm not going to choose the box, I'm just going to type in 45. See how when I started typing in with the numbers on my keypad, 45, it changed? And then I'm going to hit enter. And that made an exact replica circle of that guy. Now, this is the direction I always have to remember because it's something, it's really cool. Okay, if you type 7x and then enter, so if I type in just the number 7 and x and then hit enter, it makes 7 times that copy. The component tool is really cool. Okay, so again, I typed in the number 7 and then the letter X, and then hit enter, and then it made a whole bunch of circles in a row. Alright, now I'm going to choose my select tool, and I'm going to select the first circle, and I'm going to select it so that it gets all the way blue, and what you'll see is all the other ones turn blue. And then I'm going to choose my move tool, or you can just hit the letter M. It's kind of a shortcut to get to the move tool. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move it in so that they start intersecting each other and get my pumpkin shape. So you can go as close as you want, or I like my pumpkin to have a little more rounded edges, so I'm going to pull it out a little bit more. And I'm going to leave it there. And then I'm going to hit my select tool, right click off of it, and I've got my pumpkin. Okay, that original circle is there. You can just double click on it and hit delete. Now what you are going to do is I'm going to paint my pumpkin, so I'm going to just make a box around it, and before I paint it, I'm going to right click and hit explode, and what that does is it makes it one pumpkin now, instead of a bunch of 7 or 8 different circles. Okay, and I'm going to paint it, so I'm going to come over to my painting tool, I'm going to choose a nice orange color, I'm going to paint my pumpkin. Okay, So there's my pumpkin. Now, if you want to shoot for a 4 on this assignment, you can add a stem to it. But a 3 is making your pumpkin, and then we're going to make a face on it. Okay? And the more detail you add to your 3D project, the more, that's where you get a 4. Okay? So the basic shape that I'm making today would be considered a 3, which is what my expectation is. So to make the face on my pumpkin, I'm going to choose the rectangle tool. I'm going to draw it right around in front of it. I'm going to push-pull it up because, again, we always have to have a 3D shape first. Okay, so I'm push-pulling it up so it's right in front of my pumpkin. And then on my rectangle, I'm going to draw. You can use the pencil tool, or you can use the polygon tool to make your eyes. And again, if you want to do the polygon tool, you got to hit the number. So I hit 3, enter to get the triangle shape. And I'm going to make my eyes for my pumpkin. And if I want them to be exactly the same, I'll hit the select tool, select my triangle, do copy, Control C for copy, Control V for paste, and it'll make the triangle the same exact size. Or you can make them slightly different if you don't want them to be the exact same size. So maybe I want them to be just shaped a little different. So if I go next to it and I just make it angle a little differently, gives them a little goofy look. Okay? Now for my mouth, or I'm going to make my nose. Okay, now for my mouth, I'm going to use the pencil tool and just draw it in. And it helps sometimes if you zoom in a little bit. Okay, and I'm just drawing it down and around. Just making a little kind of weird shape, and then I got to make sure I connect it. It should have turned. Something did not connect. So I'm just going to go over it again to make sure it's all connected, because it should turn, like the eyes, it should turn a light pencil mark. That means that it's all connected everywhere it goes. If I zoom in really close, it'll show me where it didn't connect to. Oh, that's why. Look at. That's why it didn't connect. It was this part of it, for some reason, when I drew it, it was not on the rectangle. So I'm just going to draw that line again. There we go. Now that I connected it. So always, if it's still bold after you draw it, kind of just turn it and see, maybe it's sticking out weird. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to push-pull the other rectangle back. To the edge and get rid of it. I'm going to color these guys in my pumpkin eye color. Make them I can find the black here. Okay, I'm going to color them in all black. You got to make sure you go all the way around, or you can use the select tool. And if you select the whole thing, and then color it in, that'll get them all black. so you don't have to worry about all the different sides. Now with my select tool, I'm going to hit M or the 4 arrows, and I'm going to move it. And it may take a little configuring where you may have to try some different angles to get it in. But once I put it in, my pumpkin face is in there. Now one thing to note is once you put it in and you try to adjust it afterwards, it's going to affect the whole shape. So if I want my face to be bigger, see it's kind of small in there, I'm going to undo it. I'm going to pull it out first. I'm going to make it hit the resize tool, make it a little bit bigger, and then hit M or the move tool and move it back in. Okay. You can also see how it's kind of up a little bit. If I use the arrows on my keypad, it allows me to go on certain axes. So I hit the down arrow to go on the blue axis, and that allowed me to move it down. And then I'm just going to move it back into my pumpkin. Okay, and there's my pumpkin face. And that would actually print 3D, which is kind of neat. Okay, now if you want to add a stem to it, you would just make, like, similar to the eyes, you would make a 3D stem over here and then move it to the top. If you wanted to make different shapes in there, like a bat, you would draw that on the box first and then move it in. And that's how you make a pumpkin.